Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm Emmy and I make videos on supports and Paladins. I'd like to thank you all for 500 subscribers. That really means a lot to me, and I really like the little community that we're growing here. And let me know in the comments if there's any other videos like this one that you want to see that's not about a standalone champion. Recently, me and my partner have adopted a puppy, and I already had a cat when we adopted her, so we're taking a lot of time to introduce our pets and take care of the puppy and do training that we need to. So videos aren't going to be super consistent, but I'm going to try to get out at least once a week, but there are no promises there. I saw in the poll that you guys voted for Dumba, and I will be having that video out soon, but I am going to be breaking up those support videos with other videos that pertain to supports but are just not dedicated to one of them, so that will be coming soon. This video is going to be all about Antiheal, or also called Cauterize, and just what you need to know about it as a healer and understand it a little more than just the surface level of your healing being reduced over the game. Nuances and how you can counter it as a support, since that's been a question that's popped up quite a few times. As usual, this is all my opinion. Now, there are some things in this video that are going to be facts, such as the numbers, the times, and things along those lines, but I will always tell you when I'm giving my opinion, and you don't have to agree with it. That's okay. So, what is Cauterize? What is Antiheal? What is the difference? Is there a difference? So there is a difference between the two. Cauterize is actually an item that is no longer in the game. Originally, Cauterize was an item that you could buy for 250, then 500, then 750 credits. It would go up in intervals of 30%, 55%, and 80% anti-healing. This is an item that was removed at the beginning of the Season 5 launch in January of 2022. It was replaced with what we have now, which is anti-healing. In my opinion, this was a very good move. I think that this was very needed. When Cauterize was an item, you really only had 3 item slots you could buy because Cauterize was mandatory. It didn't matter who you were playing. Support, damage, flank, tank, it didn't matter. You really needed to buy Cauterize, and a team not buying Cauterize would pretty much lose them the match. So it became something that was such a crutch and a must-buy that item could win you the game. So that's why I think that Anti-Heal, which is what we have now, was a very needed change. Starting at the base game, you start with 25% anti-healing, and that will go up in intervals of 5% every 50 seconds in a match. This is going to be referring to a siege game, and we'll get into Onslaught and TDM later. If the match is over 10 minutes and 50 seconds long, you will hit the maximum value of 90% anti-healing. What does this mean? How is it applied? Well, let's start there. Cauterize is applied for 1.5 seconds when you are hit with a weapon shot. We'll get into later in the video what is considered a weapon shot, but basically when you're hit with any primary fire, you're going to have that applied to you. What does the 90% mean? Well, 90% of the healing that you're doing is going to be nullified. So if you're a Ying who does 800 healing on a life exchange shatter and 90% anti-heal, you're only going to be healing for 80 on that shatter when it is applied. That sounds really drastic, but it's to keep the game balanced, even if it doesn't necessarily work. It makes it so that your damages and flanks at the beginning may not be able to pierce through as easy, but as the game goes on, they're going to have the ability to flank much easier, damage much easier, and the team isn't going to be able to rely on their support exclusively. So how does this go up in certain matches? Well, in Siege, like I said, it's 5% anti-healing every 50 seconds in a match, meaning that at 10 minutes 50 seconds you will hit the maximum of 90. In King of the Hill, 5% every 45 seconds. The match has to be over 9 minutes and 40 seconds long to hit that maximum as well. Onslaught is just a tiny bit different. It is 5% every 40 seconds, so it has to be 8 minutes and 40 seconds long to hit that maximum. And TDM is 5% every 30 seconds, meaning it has to be over 6 minutes and 30 seconds long to hit that value. Obviously, those values are there and change depending on the type because your TDMs aren't going to last as long as your siege matches are going to. So, what is a weapon shot? A weapon shot is anything that is going to be coming from your primary weapon, or that's at least how it should be. But that's not exactly how it's going to work. All primary fires in the game are going to apply Cauterize. Those are going to be considered weapon shots. However, when you get into characters like Lex, in Pursuit also counts as weapon shots. Or Dredge, his broadside and his primary fire are going to be considered weapon shots. Or Leon, who all of her abilities, except her ultimate, are considered weapon shots. Things like Tyre's grenade or Grover's crippling throw, which you would think would still be weapon shots, are not. It can be a little bit finicky what they're choosing to be weapon shots and what they're not choosing to. So I wish I could tell you that it's as simple as if it comes out of your gun, it's a weapon shot, but it's just not that simple. It would be confusing to have Cassie only have her crossbow be a weapon shot, even though everything comes from her crossbow. And Leon have everything be a weapon shot, because everything comes from her gun. But that is the way it is. So if you're confused on if something is a weapon shot or not, I'm going to leave a link in the description to the wiki for the weapon shots, and it will tell you every single champion and what basically applies COD to them, because anything on that list is going to apply Cauterize. It can be a little hard to envision how much you're realistically healing your team for when you're at max anti-heal in the game. So how much are you really taking away with that 90%, and what are the numbers that you're healing with? So we're going to go through each healer and talk about what they are healing in 90% anti-heal with no card augmentations, just simply what their base talents heal. Starting with Corvus on his Abyssal Reconstruction, you are doing an 80 burst and 35 over 0.5 seconds when you are at max Cauterize. With Furia, you will be doing a 100 burst and 40 over 2 seconds when using your Kindle Soul. With Grok, you will be healing 27 every 1 second with Healing Totem. With Grover, his passive is going to heal 8 every 1 second, and his burst healing will be 65 with 30 over 2.5 seconds. Io is 13 every 0.15 seconds with Moonlight. With Genos, you will heal 33 burst and 22 every 1 second with Astral Mark. With Lilith at her highest level Swarm placement, you will heal 16 every 0.25 seconds. With Dumba, you will heal 9 for every 0.25 seconds with Mending Spirits, and 6 every 0.2 seconds with Gourd. With Pip, you will have a 100 burst with Healing Potion. With Ray, you will have a 52 burst with Chain Heal. With Saris, you will heal 150 over the 1.5 seconds with Restore Soul. With Ying, you will have 40 every 1.6 seconds with One Illusion. Here's a complete list of all the healers laid out so that you can kind of get an idea of who's still healing the most at that level. Obviously, these numbers are a huge reduction from their initial healing, and that can be really frustrating as a healer, but there are a lot of things that you can do to counter this. However, sadly, it is things that your team also has to do on their end, so let's get into that. So the first big way you can counter the anti-heal is going to be by item buys. This can be a difficult one because you cannot make your team buy a certain item. Even if you know that's what you need to succeed, you can't make them buy that. So I'm just going to give you some examples of why, if you are playing especially tank, you should buy these items to help your healer out. And if your team has these, you're going to succeed more. First up is going to be Rejuvenate. This is the sheer fire, easiest way to counter anti-heal. Simply because this is increasing your healing numbers that you're doing to somebody. So early game, it's going to be really helpful because you're healing higher amounts, but as the game goes on, Cauterize is not going to be as effective on that person. So it costs 200, 400, and 600 credits, and it goes up in intervals of 10, 20, 30%. This means when Cauterize is at 90, it's actually only at 60 for your Rejuve target. So if your tank has Rejuvenate 3 and it is 10, 11 minutes into the game, you're not going to be at 90% anti-heal, you're actually going to be at 60% anti-heal. This is a huge advantage because those numbers I listed earlier are going to be much higher for you, and if the other team is only functioning off of those lower numbers, this is going to really put your team a little bit ahead of them. Aside Rejuvenate, Haven is also a really good buy. It'll just reduce the overall damage that your team is taking, making it so they don't need that healing as much, so you're not having to heal as much on those targets as you would as if they didn't have it at all. And with recent patches to it, Kill to Heal is always something that is great to pick up. In my opinion, anybody should be picking up Kill to Heal. First of all, it ignores all anti-heal. That has been something that has been in a recent update. So anytime you kill somebody, you will always get that burst of healing. It is elimination based. What is an elimination in Paladins? It is damaging an enemy, healing a teammate who killed the enemy, revealing enemies for teammates, or dealing CC effects to an enemy. So you as a healer are going to be benefiting, especially if you are a Corvus or a Genos, from those healing marks that you're putting on people. So Kill to Heal is valuable for you, and it's going to do a lot more than something like Life Grip would, especially with the recent update of it ignoring anti-heal completely. Now, the caveat to Kill to Heal is if your team is not really getting many eliminations, it's going to be useless. So it does come with that issue of your team has to be able to pick up kills in order for that item to be beneficial to you at all. But if your team isn't picking up kills, you're really not doing anything at all. A big part of learning how to counter anti-heal is learning priority. Priority is something that's actually very easy to grasp when put this way. You're a healer, and your flank Xin runs into the back line. They are very low, but there's no one chasing them. They've killed their target. They're not in any immediate danger. But your tank is on point, and they're at half health. You could probably heal that Xin. However, is it beneficial to heal that Xin over your tank? That Xin is completely safe. There is no immediate threat, and they can naturally regenerate their health in a few seconds. Is there really a need to heal that Xin over your tank who may go down? No. Even if that Xin is spamming need healing. Understanding when it is beneficial to heal and when it is not is a huge part of learning and mastering a support. Sadly, when it comes to this issue, it's going to be all about your team understanding how to get out of the anti-healing. So your tank understanding when to put a shield up and how long to put it up. Letting you get at least one shot in anti-healing free will give them a lot more health. Knowing how to use corners, shields, retreating from battle but not going too far from the point. These are things that your tank is going to have to learn. And obviously you can't control what your tank is doing, you can only control how you're healing. So trying to find those windows where even if your tank is accidentally doing so, when they're out of anti-healing, that's going to be the most beneficial time. Until then, you're going to just have to watch the health bars. What do I mean by that? I don't mean watch the people in front of you, I mean watch up here in the corner. This is how you handle priority best. Whenever you see someone low, you can immediately locate them around you and throw down something that is going to be able to help them. If you're Ying, you can throw down a clone on that flank route. If you're Pip, you can throw a potion at the wall. There's a lot of things that you can do to help them. So watching around you at health bars is not going to be as beneficial as watching up here at the health bars. In danger of sounding a little grim, there are going to be some fights that you know you're just not going to be able to save that person. The amount of times I've seen a flank running at me with a hair of health left being chased by someone and I don't heal them and then they get upset is immeasurable. That healing is going to be better suited for the tank, and if I heal that flank who's going to die anyway at 90% anti-heal being chased with that little health, I am wasting that cooldown on them instead of someone else I can use it on. As frustrating as that is, it's just the truth, and that's how you have to prioritize late game. You have to prioritize who is going to be the most beneficial to heal and who is a lost cause. That also means if you have a teammate who is just not performing no matter how much you heal them or how much you help them, it might be beneficial to put your healing towards somebody else who is performing well, and with that boost of healing is going to be able to do more than that person who isn't. These are things that you have to learn about priority and things that people don't like to hear, because sometimes I'm not the good player on a team and it sucks when I don't get healing, but it is more beneficial for it to go towards a player who's going to be able to do more with that healing than I am. That is all for this video, and I'd love for you guys to comment down below if there's something that you guys do to counter the anti-healing that maybe I left out or I didn't think of. When I'm making these videos, it's a little bit difficult because things that are second nature to me may not be second nature to other people. So I always have to start recognizing how I play, and it can be a little difficult to recognize when I need to put something in a video. Let me know down in the comments below what kinds of videos like these that you would like to see, like I said, that aren't centered on a specific champion, I would love to do videos in between those ones. So let me know. Thank you guys for your patience with my uploads, and I will see you in the next one.